My name is Kevin McCaffery, the Suffolk County Legislator, and I had the honor and privilege of sponsoring Joe in Hometown Heroes banner program. And I've known Joe for many years in my term with the village, and he was always a fixture at Memorial Day parades and Veterans Day parade.
Commanded DAB in Lindenhurst.
So
a long time, 3 years.
Yep.
I belong to BMW now.
Yeah. So Joe is the guy. We've known each other through mutual friends and relatives. I also gave you a proclamation, if you remember this, on your 90th birthday, right?
Yep.
Over at the Villa Gaia restaurant, and I was proud to do that. And we also spoke to each other about his service in World War II, and it turns out that my father also served in the infantry in the Battle of the Bulge. And it was quite a harrowing experience. You know, he didn't like you. They don't always talk about it. You know, and so, but it's nice to have shared that experience with you and feel that connection with you. You know, so
I'll tell you one thing: the fighting in the Battle of the Bulge was vicious. After that, when we crossed the Rhine, it wasn't as bad, but in the Bulge, it was vicious.
It was one of the toughest battles in World War II.
Yeah.
And we're glad you're here to talk about it, and I'm glad my father was able to come back, or else I wouldn't be sitting here next to you right now.
Right,
so
yeah.
that's the good part about it. But if it wasn't for
To survive, you had to be lucky.
lucky and good, they say. And but if it wasn't for men like you and him and all the others that fought in that war, and we wouldn't be sharing having to enjoy the freedoms that we have today. You know, and we thank you for that. And there's a reason why they'll call you the greatest generation. You know, and it's and we're proud to sponsor this program, be part of it, and recognize people like yourself and the others that came after you for the service that you provided for our country. So, thank you again, Joe. We appreciate it. Thank you for your service.
The thing they did during World War II, they made 10 what they call infantry replacements training centers. They made 10 camps in the United States. All they did was teach infantry. They had these guys, and they made everybody. They taught you the machine gun, the rifle, the BAR, the bazooka, and the mortar. So they taught you that. You got 16 weeks of basic training. Then when you went overseas, they put you away. Then you went into replacements, the divisions that needed men. And they would put you where you needed, as a rifleman or a mortarman or a machine gunner. They would put you in there. And that's what they had, 10 camps in the United States, all throughout the South, where all they did was train infantry. That was after D-Day. They did that because the infantrymen, well, they lost over, I'd say, between killed and wounded, more than 1 million infantrymen died and were wounded. And that's what they needed, infantry.
Well, that's where everybody went when they needed a home.
When you got drafted, everybody went into the infantry. After D-Day, when you went to the draft board, you went into the Army and you went into the infantry, everybody. I remember I had divinity students with me and I my class in basic training, and guys that were supposed to be doctors and whatnot, all in the infantry. And they didn't care what you did before. All they wanted was cannon fodder.
So along those lines, my uncle served in the Navy during World War II, and him and my father would always have a little thing back and forth about what happened, and it always. My father would say that his war injury, meaning my uncle's, was when he fell off the bar stool at the Tiki Lounge in the Philippines somewhere, and my uncle would come back and say that my father was, and I believe that there's a good chance that he was the bartender at the Enlisted Men's Club, and all of a sudden they hand him with a rifle. You're infantrymen now, and you're going to the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah, we had a lot of guys that were Air Corps, whatnot. They never handled a gun. They gave them a gun and they put them in the infantry. A lot of guys that did that.
Yep.
And these guys were, let me tell you, they were scared. They were scared that something went off because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Yeah. They had no training, but they did it. That's what they did.
That's what they did,
right?
They
needed them. They did it. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
So thanks again for your service, and thanks for being part of this program. You know, I thank the Kiwanis for the Hometown Heroes banner program. It's really been such a success that they're going out into the rest of the town of Babylon to be able to do this. Everyone came down to Lindenhurst and saw these banners hanging, and we want to recognize our veterans as well.